Hi, in this video I'm going to be predicting the winners for the Week 9 games of NFL season 2025. Before I start making my picks, I just want to say that I don't gamble and I'm not a gambler, so that's not what the picks are for me, but there's plenty of places where you can safely and legally gamble. I was a casino dealer before, though, on a side note. Um, And I also wanted to say my picks are more so because I'm thirsty. So let's get into the picks. With the first game being Thursday Night Football, that's tomorrow. Baltimore Ravens at Miami Dolphins. I remember maybe a couple of years ago, maybe even more than that, maybe like 4 years ago. It was still the Lamar Jackson Ravens when they were the powerhouses that they were. And then there was that one game on Thursday night, I think it was, where they played the Dolphins. I think it was in Miami, and no one was thinking that the Dolphins were going to win, including me. And they blitzed Lamar all night and they beat him. But I'm not going to pick the Dolphins. That was just a memory. I don't know if you guys remember that one. Yeah, Baltimore's probably, like Lamar said, do or die. So I'm shouting out Lamar because he's had so many accomplishments in his career. He's won multiple MVPs, and on his way to probably more success for him. Um, he's the GOAT for sure too. So I'm picking Baltimore Ravens for that first game. Game two is 1 o'clock Eastern time games on Sunday. Chicago Bears at Cincinnati Bengals. So maybe Joe Flacco might not be playing because he has an injury, but I wasn't going to pick them even if he was playing. Um, Chicago Bears are a different team this year with Ben Johnson as the head coach. Um, I think he's been a great influence on the team, and they're improved in a big way. And I think they'll beat Cincinnati on Sunday, so I'm taking Chicago Bears. Third game, Minnesota Vikings at Detroit Lions. Um, you know, gotta shout out some of the Detroit Lions. Jared Goff is having another great year. Um, when he was doubted in years past, like when he's being doubted, like every time, like he's always doubted. His accuracy, I think, is top five, maybe even one or two of all quarterbacks. Um, he's always up there in accuracy. He's already thrown a lot of touchdown passes. And he's already up there in yards with the bye. Even if like you might not see him on the list, like he's 15 right now or 17, he's like sneakily having another really good season. Um, it could even be one of his best seasons if he keeps it up. And Amon-Ra St. Brown has 7 touchdowns this year. Um, and Jameer Gibbs is having a big year on the offense. And Aiden Hutchinson just signed an extension. So I don't know. They could be putting something together. We'll see. I'm definitely picking them here against Minnesota. Fourth game, Carolina Panthers at Green Bay Packers. Well, I'm obviously taking the Packers. They're the number one team in the NFC right now. If you guys don't know about the tight end for the Green Bay Packers, Tucker Kraft, you should know him. He's a beast. He's a really amazing player. He's becoming a really good tight end. He's becoming like you would include him in the conversation, start to do so with like Travis Kelce and George Kittle. Like not ahead of those guys, but he's getting into their like club and stuff. Like just to name a few, and like Brock Bowers, I would throw in there. Some of the top guys. I would say like Tucker Kraft should be a guy that you guys know. He's a beast. And I'm taking Green Bay Packers, just to say again. Still on the 1 o'clock games. Those are all 1 o'clock Eastern time games. I'm still on those. Los Angeles Chargers at Tennessee Titans. I've had my doubts about the Chargers, maybe. but I don't know. On Thursday Night Football last week, that was like the most exciting like Chargers game like ever maybe that I watched. And they won, so that was really cool. They did a really good job. Justin Herbert, the quarterback of the Chargers, leads the NFL in passing yards. And then they got that tight end that I just discovered, Gadsden. He's like breaking out like the last two games, like a lot of yards and touchdowns. And they drafted him in the 5th round, I think in the last draft. And I just found out about it. So the Chargers definitely packing a lot more excitement this time around. So we'll see. You know, maybe they'll make a breakthrough. Maybe they'll have a breakthrough year. So I'm taking the Chargers. Game 6 of 14 is Atlanta Falcons at New England Patriots. I'm out of Survivor because was it last week that Atlanta lost to? Yeah, that was last week. All my Survivor entries are gone because Atlanta lost last week, and Drake London didn't play, and Kirk Cousins started. Like I don't know. I just rolled with it because I thought it would be fine against Miami. Then they got clobbered, so that kind of stunk. In New England Patriots, they traded Duggar, Kyle Duggar, like one of their safeties, defensive back. You know, he's a safety. So I don't agree with that trade. Why trade Duggar? You know, he's a big name guy, and why take away depth from your secondary at this time when you're on an amazing winning streak? They've done something here with their winning streak. I think they've won like 5 in a row or something. I don't know, like 4, 5, 6. Lost track. They've been winning every week. And they've been winning convincingly in a way. So where did they come from? You know, this is absolutely something what they got here. This is not an ordinary winning streak to win like that many in the NFL. But the Patriots won. Like, what could this be? You know, so I'm gonna take the Patriots to win this game. Next game is San Francisco 49ers at New York Giants. Well, the New York Giants season more so feels like it's over. They're 2-6. Cam Scatterbo's out for the year, I think, and you know, with injury, yeah. And then they had already lost Malik Neighbors to injury. You know, so I don't know. Those guys keep taking punch after punch and reeling really on the season. You know, San Francisco, it's they're in the mix here in the playoff picture for the NFC, so they're going to win this game. I'm taking San Francisco 49ers. I did think about the upset for the Giants. That's what I thought about the Giants in week 1, that they would get the upset and they lost. So I was thinking about picking them, but ultimately I decided San Francisco 49ers. Game 8. Indianapolis Colts at Pittsburgh Steelers. You know, Jonathan Taylor leading the NFL in rushing yards. You know, what if he wins another rushing title this year? Wow, he's exploding on the league right now. Which could be a good recipe for success. You know, like to have that kind of running back, like Saquon Barkley last year for the Eagles. Pittsburgh Steelers, the defense is not doing good, and I don't see that trend changing right now. Like what would have to happen, like for the Steelers to go like on from like they give up like the top 5 most yards in the NFL. So, and they're like up there in points too, if I'm not mistaken. They give up a lot of points and yards. They're comparable to the Cowboys defense. You know, or even the Bengals defense now. It's the new one that's even giving up more yards than the Cowboys, I think. And the offense, you know, Aaron Rodgers has been playing great, you know. I don't know if there's like how long can he rely on Pat Freiermuth and like, you know, like DK Metcalf. Maybe there's got to be like something else like that the offense can give to get them going a little, but it's not going to be enough for me to beat the Colts. I'm taking Indianapolis Colts in this game. Last game of the 1 o'clock set, Eastern time games. is Denver Broncos at Houston Texans. I feel like the Houston Texans could lose like to some of the upper class teams of the NFL. And do I consider the Broncos to be one of those? You know, maybe. Yeah, they're on a winning streak themselves of like 5, 4, 5, 6, just like the Patriots. I lost track. What if, the leadership, Sean Payton, the head coach, and the guys in the Broncos before the season said, guys, this year we gotta beat the Chiefs in the division and in the playoffs, and to beat the Chiefs, we gotta do things like win when we're down 33 points in the fourth quarter to win by 1, when you had 0 against the Giants on a game-winning field goal, winning close games, beating teams outright. An excellent winning streak for the Denver Broncos. Denver, I don't know, could even be more impressive than New England. That being said, Pat Surtain is not playing because he's injured, so he might miss like 3-4 weeks. Who knows? Could be a tight one. Like, why pick against Denver right now for me? I've been picking them every time and they've been winning, so I'm taking Denver Broncos. Now we're moving on to the 4:00 p.m. Eastern time games. There's 3 of them. The first one is Jacksonville Jaguars at Las Vegas Raiders. I don't know what this. I think they were both on bye last week, so now they're playing each other. I'm just gonna take Jacksonville Jaguars. What if they, want to get back in the mix for the division? In order to do so, they gotta move the ball better on offense and have more drives that result in like field goals and touchdowns. And on defense, they gotta take away take down the yards that they've been giving up, and limit teams in key situations, and improve their competitive toughness overall. But this game I think they can handle, so I'm taking Jacksonville Jaguars. Next game is New Orleans Saints at Los Angeles Rams. This is an easy one. Los Angeles Rams are going to win. There's no way they give this up. I'm taking the Rams. Last game of the 4:00 set is America's game of the week. Kansas City Chiefs at Buffalo Bills. Man, this game is hard to predict every year. And I got it wrong last year. They played last year, Chiefs and Bills, and I picked Chiefs and the Bills won in the regular season, so I got it wrong last year. But I'm going to pick the Chiefs again because their defense is like last year. The toughest defense in the league. It's back. It's coming to form. They're back on track, and Rashee Rice is back, the receiver. Could this even be the best version of the Kansas City Chiefs in the end? Maybe. Buffalo Bills, I could easily pick them. No, there's nothing, you can't go wrong with either one of these teams. The Bills could easily win. But I always pick the Chiefs. I'm going to pick the Chiefs again. Sunday Night Football, the 8:00 night game, Eastern Time, PM. Seattle Seahawks at Washington Commanders. Well, Jaden might play. We'll see. Jaden Daniels. And if he does play, will the injury affect his mobility? I know some people may be thinking Washington. I've been picking against Seattle, and they have just been proving me wrong every time. They've been winning every time. And the spread is 3.5 minus for Seattle. Seattle's the favorite. And that minus 3.5 spread, I feel like it just goes, whoever the minus team is, they win, I feel like, in that instance. Which leads me to conclude that I'm picking Seattle Seahawks. Monday Night Football. 8:00 Eastern Time on Monday night, PM. And it's Arizona Cardinals at Dallas Cowboys. Um, I was considering the Cardinals, but like, what if I get all my picks right and then like I picked Cardinals just to like try to get ahead in an upset pick, which is a long shot. So like, why ruin the whole week on Monday night by picking the Cardinals? And if I lost, like, and then the Cardinals lose, I'm like even a bigger jackass that I picked the Cardinals. Um, Dallas Cowboys, you could easily blow it and lose, but the experts are picking you. And I asked my coworker, who he thinks is going to win, and he said Cowboys. And all signs point to Dallas Cowboys. So I'm taking Dallas Cowboys. And I matey Dallas Cowboys. And those are the picks for week 9. And I'll see you all for the week 10 picks next week, Wednesday. Thank you.